the suppression of the use of marijuana and of the forces lurking behind it are the most important jobs this department is now engaged in. In 1930, the records on marijuana in the Washington office of the Narcotics Division scarcely filled a small folder like this. Today, they fill cabinets.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Coloradians and everyone that's smart enough to listen from the outside.
It's one of the most amazing plants we've ever discovered.
The pot party, the trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
I got weed pots!
So we'll just get this party started casually, have a good time.
Sounds good.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Appetit. With your host, as always, it's me, Kip. And today, I don't think I'm going to get the last name right because the computer just died, but we're going to try. We're going to try. I have Nikki Kujawski. Kujawski?
You got it. You got it.
Nikki is joining us. She's a host of her own podcast, but she's joining us on behalf of her company today, the Stillwater Ripple brand edibles. So I'm fired up. I don't know if you know this already, but I'm fired up.
I love it. Me
Thank
too.
you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
You say that now, but in like 30 minutes, you're like, fuck, I can't believe we're still doing this podcast. So hold your tongue before you say that now. But yeah, so we're fired up to have you here, and here being, we're at Run for the Roses. Like I mentioned on the episode with Ricardo a couple weeks back, we're fucking back. We're on location. We're recording face-to-face. That's what makes the podcast real. And today we're going to get into the nitty-gritty. Edible season is upon us. Like Chris referenced, edibles have been up 1,000% in 2020, especially since COVID and the vape scare of 2019. It's been popping. So we're going to dive deep, talk about the nitty-gritty of the industry as well as of y'all's newly released product. But before we get the party started, I do want to give a shout-out to our sponsors, Live Nation Colorado, and our friends over at SphereX. Live Nation Colorado, obviously there's no concerts going on. Y'all have heard me do this ad read for the last couple episodes, but the facts still remain. The crews that work those venues and working in the entertainment industry are still suffering because they cannot pay the bills when there are no fucking concerts. So to save the crew, save the nation, go over to livenation.com. You'll see the donate tab. They have a campaign that's continuously running where you can help out those in the entertainment industry. So go to livenation.com, check it out, help out, and then stream whatever show you want from all the thousands of people that have signed contracts with Live Nation to do shit. That's what they get when my computer dies. I have to ad lib. And they're okay. They're okay with that. I think that was a pretty good ad read.
Yeah.
LiveNation.com. And our friend SphereX. If it wasn't for them, that's our preferred marijuana. Y'all know that. There are cartridges that we buy from everywhere. I get mine from Lightshade. Give it a whirl. You can get them just about everywhere. And that brings me to my next topic, Miss Nikki. Nikki, we're out of the ad reads and we're back in the conversation. I mentioned thank you so much for joining us, but we have a tradition on this podcast. And the first question is usually brought to you by Chris, but he's not with us today because he's working. So I'm going to do the... Are you a transplant or a native to Colorado?
I am a transplant. I moved here about 4 years ago from New York City.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Why?
Why? Because it's amazing out here.
Usually it's kind of the other way around, though. People are like, oh, I'm going to the Big Apple. Were you sick of it?
Yeah, I grew up in New Jersey, right over the tunnel there, and then I've been in New York. I went to school there. I went to my undergrad at New York University, and then
you can say NYU. That's how everyone in the world says it.
Some people out here don't know it as much. I think.
Do you get weird looks? Feel like, oh yeah, you do look NYU. No, do you wear the sweater? And then it was like sweatshirt girl.
Sweater. I do not necessarily wear the sweater. I know. But I do rep them. I mean, at the end of the day, NYU
great football program.
Their football is astounding. I think it's like the top one in the nation, actually. Since I follow football so well.
I don't even know if you'll have one, but
no, we don't.
No. Okay.
It's actually it's a funny joke at NYU. There is a T-shirt that says NYU football, and only really NYU people get it. There's no. I think that there are sororities and fraternities, but I don't even know where they live or reside.
But I mean, I guess if you live there the whole time, you're like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, the lifestyle is really hard there. I also worked in video production, which is a very intense industry. So it's a lot of long hours, a lot of long hour-long subway rides at 1 a.m. with my dog and my purse, and it was just, it was a lot. So moving out here, got to do some trail running, got to be outdoors. I like it a lot more.
You get to see the actual sun instead of just like buildings and the occasional blue light.
The real nature. It's amazing.
It's pretty nice. You mentioned a dog. Can we go ahead? We're a pro-dog podcast.
Oh, fantastic.
What kind of dog do you have?
So I have 2 dogs, but
nice.
Both hounds. My dog, my fiance came into our relationship with a dog, so that's my second dog, Ringo, who is a beagle. But my dog that I spent many years carting around New York City is a miniature dachshund named Mochi, named after one of my favorite desserts. And she came back and forth with me to the TV studio every single day for about 4 years. So she is a Subway pro.
Yeah, I mean, that's a weathered dog. I can only imagine. I mean, the streets and the sidewalks are gross as shit up there. So
right?
I can only imagine what it feels like for that dog. But it's a trooper. Now it's like heaven out here. It's
exactly.
like Peter Pan syndrome for humans, and then for dogs, it's like the perfect play place.
Yeah, we were doing a shoot once with Blue Apron that involved live lobsters, and I love lobster. I'm a huge lobster fan. So my favorite New York City subway story is that I was coming back from New York at 2 a.m. with both my dog in her bag and 2 live lobsters in a Ziploc bag, and that's how I commute home at 2 a.m. So.
I'm not gonna lie, that's righteous. At least you didn't have to like break up a fight going down on your purse in the middle. But you did kind of blend kind of 3 of our favorite things: partying in the big cities, food, and obviously your job now working with Stillwater or Ripple, or most folks know it. But you have a food industry background as well, so we can dive as deep as we want here. Is that right?
Yeah, and a lot of people over at Ripple have a food industry background. It's actually one of the main places that our executive team really looks for help from. It is people who have experience in CPG, people who have experience in kind of larger food companies to bring their expertise in to our company.
Yeah, it checks out because the stuff's delicious. I didn't say shit. That's pretty good. There I did. I did say it. The stuff is really good. So it works, and y'all do have some flavors going on, and we're going to dive into that. But before we even get that far, let's talk a little food scene here in Denver. Favorite eats.
Ooh, favorite eats.
What's your go-to restaurant?
You know, what we say about coming from New York, we're definitely a little spoiled because there's every type of food.
Do you turn your nose up at our food scene?
No, not at all. What I like to say
you up with some truth.
I know. Right? What I like to say is like I have for what I had in New York, I have one like amazing plate. I mean, if you look hard enough, you can find anything that you want here. I don't know if you've ever heard of Jajangmyeon. It's a Korean dish that comes from a food fusion between Chinese and Korean culture, and it's a black bean noodle dish. It's absolutely amazing.
Where'd you find it? Don't lie.
In H Mart, there is in the one actually right on Sheridan up in Westminster. There is a little cafe called 2 Sidewalks Cafe in the store. So the key move is you go in, you order, then you do your grocery shopping, and then you get it on the way out.
That is a pro fucking move. And can you give us some cross streets? Because that is exactly the sleeper stuff we need to cover and to keep people enthused in this podcast is those gems right there. That's genius.
Yeah. So that H Mart happens to be on Sheridan, right where Sheridan intersects with 36. Okay. And there is a bigger one in Aurora, but that's the one with the 2 Sidewalks Cafe.
I like it. All right. You're dropping knowledge bombs on us early and often. God damn, it's going to be a good episode. Okay, yeah. So you mentioned Ripple. You know, y'all have a team. Y'all are based out of Denver?
We are based. Well, our factory's in Commerce City.
Same thing.
So same thing.
Splitting hairs.
Same thing.
Got
to give some Commerce City some love, though. You know, like sometimes you can't lump them all in. You got to represent.
That is true. Shout out to Dick's Sporting Goods Park, I guess, and the dog plant. But yeah, okay. So that's a great segue by us. Way to go. We're professionals here, right? So let's talk a little bit about Ripple. You mentioned, y'all have a team that is heavily entrenched with folks from the food industry, but y'all also are an edible. And let's give everyone a quick rundown. What is Stillwater?
Absolutely. So Stillwater, we are an edibles company. Our base product is a product called Ripple. It is a
Grateful Dead founder?
Yep, just like the Grateful Dead song. It is a dissolvable powder that you can add to anything. So it's really the world is your edible. If you have something you're eating or drinking and you want it to be cannabis infused, your dream is now reality.
Holy shit. Is that y'all saying?
The world is your edible?
The world is your edible?
That is our saying. Patent pending.
Base. So
They might try to
We're very
take it.
motivated out there.
Yeah, and then we make a few products from those from Ripple. So we have a gummy line, best tasting gummies on the market by far because they are made with Ripple. They're
Is that a personal opinion or is that a fact?
That is a personal opinion.
I fuck with it.
You'll
You'll have better flavors than a lot of the average bear. So I'll agree with you on that one. I do enjoy the flavors.
I appreciate it. And the real thing is that it's made with Ripple. It has that you don't get that grassy or that sometimes like even what would you want to call it?
That
Metallic
post-vaporized flavor.
Yes.
There's a bitterness that comes with a little bit of the THC or the CBD flavoring as well when you have that, I guess, blended variation. You don't really pick that up with y'all's. Y'all's shit, it slaps.
I appreciate it. Yeah, and I think then from there, our newest product, which you mentioned earlier, is our Ripple Quick Sticks, and so those are really like bringing you back to back in the day with Pixie Sticks. It's just a drop right on your tongue, dissolvable. So it's again, all of our products are made with that base Ripple product, which is what makes them fast acting, consistent, and reliable. But that one is just even faster because you're putting it right on your tongue.
I think a key word that oftentimes folks, the casual stoner or the casual smoker or, ingestible user, reliable is the term, like getting a steady dosage on every single occurrence because oftentimes it was the people that made weed brownies at home and, like one of them knocks your dick in the dirt and the other 9 just leave you hanging. It seems like these, not only they do hit you fast, but they also, kind of what you're going to get out of it. If you've ever had one or if you're just kind of limping in, you have the 5 and 5s as well. But it's a nice little blend and then kind of you dip your toe and ease into the pool.
Yeah, and that's really something we pride ourselves on, the idea that if you were to take any of our products, if you're taking the same dose, you will have the same experience. So whether it's our gummies or our quick sticks or our dissolvables, that consistent experience is really what we pride ourselves on and really our promise to our customers.
So when did we start? When did the company start? I apologize.
Yeah, so the company Stillwater brand started in 2016 with our first product, which was Stillwater Tea. That was a micro-dose, loose-leaf organic tea. It is one of my favorite products that has ever been on the market. We have since retired it, but
rest in peace.
But it was for a very long time our base product, and actually really how we came about with Ripple. The Ripple was really designed to be the way that we infused our tea, and then we just really saw the benefits of it and created our own product from it. But the base product was to create a flavorless additive that we could have dissolve with the tea and create that really consistent, reliable experience in microdose form.
Have you ever seen the movie Grandma's Boy?
No. See, this is where I was telling you I'm not good at pop culture because I know that's something I need
to see.
Like
the
I
night
need
when
to
they
know.
Party on the tea. Where can our listeners and followers find said tea?
Oh, so the tea
tea's
retired, but yeah.
Sorry, I'm already infatuated. On the powders. So, like, you can shop fairly anywhere. What are some of the brands that they would best be able to find location-wise?
Yeah, so Ripple Dissolvables, that base product, is really in a huge amount of Colorado dispensaries.
So my friends Live Well.
Yep. We are only a Colorado product, so you can only find Ripple in the state of Colorado at legal dispensaries. But yeah, Ripple Dissolvables is pretty much in everyone, including Live Well, including Lightshade, who you kind of shouted out before.
Yep.
Native Roots, all the big ones, and all the little ones that we love as well. So we have a pretty good with Ripple Dissolvables. Gummies and quick sticks are in various ones again around the state, but we do have a very handy store locator on our website.
Why don't you do a seamless plug?
Right, that will let you choose which product you're looking for. So if you're specifically looking for quick sticks, just check the box. If you're looking for gummies, just so you're not going to the wrong store. Gotcha.
But so friends, come on out. Try them. And you can get it for my friends in the mountains and things of those towns. You can grab those all along the 70 corridor.
All along, yep. All the way south, going down all the way, and north, Fort Collins, all of it, all over the state.
Okay, nice. Okay, so let's talk 3 things. What's your favorite way to mix it in? What's your favorite?
The Ripple Dissolvables, yeah,
I like mashed potatoes and fried chicken. What do you like?
Absolutely. I mean, those are just fantastic foods.
Yeah, with or without weed. But imagine when you church them up a little bit,
totally.
Spice up a little 20 milligrams like Salt Bay.
Right.
It's fire. What do you think is some of a good ingredient that would play well with others with your ingredient?
So I mean, it really goes into anything, which is the beauty of it.
Well, you can't
personal
say that.
favorite.
The conversation goes dead when you say shit like that. You got to say like a good product.
Following it up with my favorite.
There you go. Come on back now.
Putting it in some pho. So if you've ever, especially right now, just snowed here in Denver. Here. Oh yeah, I love Asian food. I know, and none of that's even necessarily Korean.
Are you Korean by nature?
I am Korean. Korean.
Oh, I guess second generation since you're from New York.
So I was actually adopted. So both of my parents are Caucasian.